what happened last time? Last time we solved the whole crisis of Scaramouche becoming a god. We let him drop to the floor. He's probably in a coma or something. I'm not sure. Did Nahida care for him afterwards? I don't know what they did to him. If we're gonna see him, it's gonna be interesting what happened. Besides that, we created a whole new timeline by completely erasing everything about Rukkhadevata, which was awfully sad. Timeline's gonna get hella confusing. Judging by the trailer, there's also something messing with the timeline regarding Scaramouche, and that's gonna be interesting. Nahida said she will care for him. Well, I sure hope she does.
On serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatarasuna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
To be honest, I like the voice actors really. I think they're really good. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Who even is that?
Yes,
Do we know
you came
him?
to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the
I don't think so.
dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma!
I mean, it's not that surprising that they are researching it here, right?
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fair. It's a country of research and knowledge, so it makes sense. But let's eavesdrop a bit.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
Inversion of Genesis. That's a title.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabukimono will end up being the main focus of this paper.
Oh god, now we also have these insane Inazuman terminology stuff in here that I don't understand. What was Kabukimono again? Hatamo Yako were gangs of the samurai in feudal Japan? First appearing in the whatever that is? I'm not looking for history lectures.
If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Do we need to start the how convenient counter again? Oh no.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
You don't believe me? I'll just go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
How convenient. One.
This is
Ding.
my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking.
Well, I think everyone gets behind that one.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Well, but apparently I can still not help this time. Well, sorry.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
Oh wait, Tatarigami is something completely different to Tatarasuna. Well, I love Inazuma, but I hate the names there. It's just so complicated.
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Okay.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a Kabukimono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
I was thinking of Lieben for a second, but I'm very certain that it's not him.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes,
Agreed.
my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Man, this guy is really motivated.
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out.
Oh yeah, fine. Just make everything into a novel. It's fine.
It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be? Please pass on the light to me, Mrs. Lemine.
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yeah, I know a thing or two.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art.
Mm-hmm.
Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Wait, there's more?
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most...
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes sense for you. Maybe you should try and transition from a writer to a storyteller. You're really good at that stuff. But continue.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
Oh. Okay, yeah, well, that certainly shrinks the amount of people that are possibly referred to as Kabukimono. Exclamation mark.
A puppet?
Yeah, like, who's left then? That's either Skara or the Shogun. Is there another puppet? But yeah, I mean, it's certainly not the Shogun, right? So I think that shrinks it down quite far. Literally shrinks it down to one person. Yeah, pretty much. The Shogun puppets that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma. Her as we speak, it couldn't be her. Yeah, well, big brain move, Lemine. That Kabukimono has to be the Balladeer. But what was he doing 400 years ago in Tatarasuna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
We do. Blair and Paimon hope she shuts her mouth.
No, Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
Is there a reason why we're not talking about it?
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to
well,
be
yeah,
expected.
yeah.
And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Time for some novel reading.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
Yeah, that, for a scientific paper, that's for sure true.
Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Now you're just falsifying the past. That's not how science works.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Yeah, it sounds more like a novel. I'm not sure if this guy has ever written an essay before.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get.
Oh, just wait an hour or two.
Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
I'll leave you to it.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Well, that was an excursion. We wanted to go to Nahida and ended up discussing an essay with those people. Well, that's how life goes sometimes.
That thing they were talking about, it has to do with the Balladeer, doesn't it?
Yep, pretty sure.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
Nah, come on, Paimon, you gotta look at it a different way. Have you ever been like in school and you had to pick like a subject that you're passionate and want to talk about, and then the teacher says, nope, you can't have that, or someone else already has that? Doesn't make you want to switch. Anyways, what is it? Oh! What?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
Something is not right here. Why is he allowed to look with that?
No, it can't have been. He got locked up.
Well, there's not... and there he is. Is he not locked up here or something? She's smiling, that's a good sign.
There you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the Balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Did he lure us in here? Is that what he did?
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain.
Yeah, please do.
It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
You sure he should do that? Like, that's a pretty sensitive subject, you know?
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
I did not say that, I just said you probably shouldn't be walking around freely.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
I don't like how he's kinda pushing us.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
I mean, it's hard with him in the room.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Yeah, but what can he do that would make you agree to this deal? I don't see it.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yeah, that's even more fishy that you would agree with her after striking a deal with the doctor. I'm very sure that you don't like him anymore.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Okay. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Yeah, that was a thing that I was thinking about. Former, officially just cancelled, or are they regarding him as dead? Or are they gonna, well, make him dead? That could be an option.
Wait a second. Former? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
That's not really surprising that he tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers.
Okay, well that doesn't really seem like a great relationship, but to be honest, looking at how they reacted to Signora's death, I honestly don't think that's too far off. So yeah, not really the best work environment, so I don't know.
So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Ah, wow, what a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
Yeah, that's certainly gonna go well.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me, how?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Right, because he is native to this world, right? Oh yeah, that was confusing.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
And how is he able to help with that?
You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
But isn't that more bad than good for us? I don't think he should be able to connect to Irminsul. That's dangerous. I don't want him to create a bunch of timelines now by removing certain memories out of that thing. It's not good.
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he does something else there, though?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
Yeah, like, even the first time we met him, he instantly wanted to kill us.
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As
Right.
Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
She's really putting a lot of work in for us. That's crazy. Compare that to Zhongli or Venti. Well, we never really asked Venti, did we? But especially Zhongli, who just goes, nope, not gonna tell you. And she's putting really a lot of work in. She's more useful and gives a shit about about finding a twin. Yeah, but she, like, most importantly, she cares about what Lumine really wants, and maybe it's partially because she knows what's going on in her head. Zhongli is still, like, the most annoying one from all of them to me, just because he, like, actively goes out there to say, yep, nope, not gonna do that.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection.
How convenient. Agrees to 2.
In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned.
So we're going with him into Irminsul? Can we even do that?
Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Okay, got it. I'll do my best.
Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Yeah, it was a lot more purplish, right? I'm not sure if we just got degraded from the savior of Sumeru to the babysitter of, like, our enemy. Well, maybe it's time for some bonding.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Yep, actually that's the case, and Nahida sent me to babysit you, so it's not just on my behalf.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
Yep, actually true.
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Maybe you should just, I don't know, do your job.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through.
Okay.
I know
We'll
there are many
try.
grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Why is he even pissed at us? Like, what did we ever do to offend him? I can totally get why Lumine would be offended.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. For my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or
How
did you
about
need
I
some
give the
time to
pace?
mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
Yep. And to be honest, we should really give like the speed for this operation, not him. But anyways, focus on your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Right into the Matrix.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
And he just went. God's sake.
Wow.
Ooh, pretty.
So this is the inside of Irminsul.
I certainly imagined something else.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
It reminds me of like the arena we had with the Shogun, and where we also planted the Narukami tree.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Oh, I feel you, Paimon.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
At least he
Let's
asked
go.
her.
Stay close. Don't go running off.
As if I'm gonna leave your side.
Hey, so, say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you
Of course.
smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
I don't like that option, but that's what we're gonna do. It's pretty
These
here.
sapling things have spread out.
Things have dissipated.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Oh. Is this like... Are like these paths different ways to like different nations?
It
This
looks
is-
the same in every direction.
I
No
am
wonder
very
he mentioned
confused.
about getting lost.
Yeah.
Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
Oh, Paimon,
There's
I
a
don't
time
think
and a
you'll
place
ever
to
go
lie.
with him.
But this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
I'll try to.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
Yeah, a bit bigger than the one in Narukami now that I see it close. Center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through here.
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Ready for what exactly are they doing now?
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
Is he just gonna go in there?
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems to be good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. First Akaba and Sabata stories, now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you
Oh,
discover
you can
anything
say
at
that
all,
loud.
make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Yeah, that's strange. What about we do some chores? Someone needs some, I don't know, weeds or something?
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Oh god, another telepathic communication with you? I'm in for it, sure.
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
It's like just a Discord call at this point.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Yep, technology at its finest. I'm guessing that you don't want to disturb the Balladeer, huh?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
I guess.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand.
I mean, he's a puppet after all, so he's designed to work for someone else. So it kind of makes sense that he's good at, like, fulfilling commands, but then again, he's like a sassy edgelord boy.
Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Well, thanks. Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into a page at Paddy's DI.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
We're literally talking about him behind his back right now. That's mean to a certain extent.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabukimono and so
Yep,
on?
exactly that one.
Yes. I know about all of that.
Ooh, he would like your help, but I don't think you're gonna help him, right?
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
Oh, well, congrats, I guess.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
To be honest, he must be able to know what we're talking about, right? Like, if he wants to hear what we're doing, he should be able, like, all the knowledge is going through here, so somewhere through those lines, our conversation should be going, right?
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Maybe because you're doing, like, your finger pistol thing all the time?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought, but, Apparently not.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And
Yeah.
anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Yeah, that's not that surprising, to be honest. Every conversation with you is hard work. But your attitude is better than I thought, at least.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
Hot something? Uh-huh.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Show me.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's the furnace incident, but weren't you looking for how? I don't think he's looking for the information we want him to look for. Her name, Niwa, was the man in charge of Tatarasuna. Thus he belongs to the lineage of Ishinard.
Whoa!
Okay, and in we go again.
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose, they are motivated.
Is this like a grandfather of Kazuha? Because of like this hair strand here?
As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for
Oh,
you
well,
coming to Inazuma
even the
and
vocal
happening
cords
to
sound
make
similar.
Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
Well, that
So you
sounds
say,
good.
Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate.
Yeah, that doesn't sound as good.
And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabukimono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope.
Oh, this puts a very different light onto the situation. Okay.
But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
Yeah, just be careful, he has a knife on his back.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
Okay.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
I'm not sure if he's getting more suspicious every time he opens his mouth or if he's trying to be sensible.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Well, if that wasn't apparent through the conversation for you, then I don't know what is.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
To stab?
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
So why would you be so careless though? Like, they are literally making swords and you are like completely letting your guard down around them. Wow.
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for.
Well, maybe in his detective skills, but really not in his planning works.
I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Oh, fuck's sake. I saved myself from giving the comment of, he kinda is speaking like the Tory, isn't he? Like, in the beginning I was thinking, like, the way he ends sentences is very Dotori-like, but a lot of characters have been doing that as of late, so I didn't question it.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
Wrong. Like this.
Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
I'm not sure if Dotori has a reason for what he's doing. He just likes to, but maybe this time he has one?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I
Yeah.
have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment.
So you don't have a reason after all.
If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
So unnecessary, Doctor.
That's it. That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
But that's really so Fatui. Going into a nation, making them dependent on some technology, make the technology turn against them. That's exactly what they did already with the whole Enkanomia and delusions thing. Why do they like doing that so much?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us.
Okay, you never got to hear that for sure, but at least now he is, right?
He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
That never got relayed, huh? Oof.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself.
And yet, even though he was the one with the beautiful view of the world, he's now the dead one, and you live. Ah, what a fair, fair world.
Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity.
Yep.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was.
Oh, what a terrible human you are. Honestly, you're more like... Instead of being a doctor, you're more like a scavenger after all.
I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Okay, so Scar certainly has a reason to not be on their side anymore. That's painful, but he had to hear that. That's important.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore!
Yeah, take your moment.
Good. Good.
You don't have to listen to them anymore.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
I'm afraid so. He caused the whole accident those 400 years ago. Man. 400 years. Are you not getting bored of being like this terrible guy? Really?
But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it?
Does it?
Yeah.
But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Gotta admit it, Skara. This betrayal was a lie. He has believed for hundreds of years. Was all part of Doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened, it existed only as an imagination. But where does that leave him? It leaves him with a shattered belief, which is terrible. Like, he had been... He thought that's the case for like 400 years then. And now imagine that's all wrong. You can't just accept that instantly. He needs time.
Let's give him some space.
Yep.
He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Let's go over there, but try not to get
We need
lost.
to give him some time to process his emotions.
For sure.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the Balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process.
And that's how we got like the Scaramouche that we came to know, huh? Wow, I really wonder how he was those, yeah, well, 400 years ago. Maybe we would have actually gotten along quite well.
The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim?
Yeah,
That's terrible.
that's cruel to both Skara and the person he just killed. Like, probably doubled the times for the person he killed. That's just Yeah, but that's a classical thing that only the Dotori, our greatest doctor, would do. Screw him. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what's behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokaden 100 years ago. But it doesn't matter that vengeance was the right... doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dotori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
A while later.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright?
You look smug? What's up with that?
That's a scary expression.
Yeah?
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure that it doesn't affect our plan, okay? Even though I do somewhat care for you.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's like the question I was asking myself earlier as well. Maybe that's all part of what Nahida wants to achieve though, so...
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Yeah, that seems right.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
I mean, if you really can't find anything, that would qualify our brother as a Descender. Which, in the end, would... Well, it would set us back to zero, but at least it wouldn't leave us in such a confusion. Not unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Being?
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
Okay, so there is info about him. Okay, well, damn it.
Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
But what is that supposed to mean?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
The Jester? Fatui haven't lived with my brother. Was in Conria?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this.
Well, well, I don't see why you would lie. I agree, I don't question it, but why is that the case?
Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
I don't like your grin. What's in for him?
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh?
Huh? What have you done?
That doesn't seem good.
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long.
What is your plan?
I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What question? That highly depends on that.
Give me your hand.
Do we... Are you sure about that, Lamine?
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
I do. Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you.
That doesn't sound malicious.
So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
It is. Well, why do you ask about that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Please don't change anything in Irminsul again.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
Wait, that look. Do you see me hesitate? But that was because I know the Greater Lord Rukkhadevata got erased. I think, but...
So long.
Oh no.
I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Paimon, we have to stop him.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
Nahida, can you stop him? Deny his access.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
What? If he's doing something 400 years ago, that's gonna have crazy repercussions.
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
How? We're not even... He told us that we're not gonna be able to find any way out here. We're lost. We're just stuck. Oh no.
Oh no, he's really gone.
Yep, don't you say.
Oh, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
Yeah, guess what?
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nahida everything.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left.
Well, I don't want to say I told you, but we told you it's a bad idea.
Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
But he's still in there. Oh, that's a problem.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
How does that work?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
Wait, we're gonna be... No! We need to help you.
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
But why lock us in a room then?
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster.
I hope
Please
I can
rest
trust
and
your
recover your
assessments.
strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very hard and distressing for Paimon. Skip the part about Rukkhadevata for now and focus on the Balladeer. Tell Paimon what the Balladeer asked you and what he might have been
He wants to change the
getting from it.
past? But surely that's impossible!
That's not easy, that's for sure, but not impossible.
Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened already in real life! It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Yeah, great example.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history? That's like option number 1. Or he wants to erase like parts of his history. Or well, parts that led to his history. It's not good. Are you okay, Paimon?
Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress.
Do you need a hug?
But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe... yeah.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working.
Just don't worry, Paimon.
Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him.
Yeah.
There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Not just that. Should be even worse. Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma will be affected. Can't imagine what that situation would look like. Yeah, that would change everything. That would certainly also have effects on me, because that guy was somewhat related to Kazuha, so Kazuha's whole family tree is changed, which means that maybe the whole situation with Kazuha saving us from the Raiden Shogun doesn't even happen at all. Also could be that the whole past is completely different now. We're going right into the butterfly effect and it's not good. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden Gokuden. Kazuha, Ayato, Ayaka. Does this mean that they'll all disappear?
There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next?
I am absolutely clueless. I'm sorry,
Seems like
Paimon.
now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Well, me neither.
So, how about, we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake,
Seems to be working.
and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and
Are you done? Calm down, Paimon. She passed out. Too much thinking of food. What's wrong, Paimon?
What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about.
You were
was it again?
talking about food. Yeah, after we were a bit stressed about the situation, you started listing food. A lot of food.
The Balladeer? Is
Oh.
that a food too?
Oh, no.
Weird name, though.
Oh, no, not again. I totally forgot the fact that we don't forget. That makes this all so much worse. No. No. Yeah. Paimon doesn't remember the Balladeer? That must have mean he actually pulled it off. But how did he have that ability? It doesn't make sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said?
It's nothing.
So, the
Nothing we can
Balladeer,
change.
is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
Paimon, I think we have to meet someone. This is really happening. I need to see what else changed. Paimon, let's go.
Okay, sure. Where are we going?
I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Let's get there first. There's no time to explain. Oh, damn it. The weird thing about Irminsul's changes, like people forgetting things, is that obviously the time doesn't change. Like, we can take a look back there. Paimon dropped the glass. It's still there. This didn't change, so it's not like a whole new timeline. It's just the same timeline, but with the memories of all the people in Teyvat changed. Meaning that everything is absolutely the same, just the memories and all the knowledge changed. That's so confusing. Oh well, time to go to Inazuma. Teyvat has his own laws. Oh hell yes it does. Playing with time is so dangerous. You shouldn't do that.
We've made it to Amanoma Smithy.
Yep.
Ah, it's been a while.
Pardon me, I'd like to ask a question if I may.
Of course. Go ahead.
Could you tell me the story one more time about the Raiden Gokuden?
No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more.
Okay.
The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju.
Okay, yeah.
The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the great swordsmith clans
So
of
far
old
so good.
have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive.
Okay.
But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
I was, yeah. So that seems unchanged.
Oh yeah, we were. Paimon remembers that now.
Yep.
We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a shame.
What was the reason behind the decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale.
We need to know nonetheless.
The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace.
Mm-hmm.
One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out.
Oh, well... No matter what Scara did then, it really didn't help with that situation. I mean, it changed it. But Niwa didn't make it out alive nonetheless.
The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him.
Well, it doesn't sound too different from what was the case for the other path that Scara took then.
Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it.
So yeah, they forgot Scara and now it's the Bladesmith who murdered them. But not understanding that people can't be resurrected, just a memory change. Yeah, that's exactly the thing I was thinking of earlier. Nothing really changes in this world when Irminsul changes. It's still like, it doesn't take like the time and rewind back to like 400 years ago and then create a new timeline. It still stays at the same point in time, but all the memories that were in Irminsul just change. So no one died, nothing changes physically. Just memories and knowledge. So it's absolutely impossible to resurrect someone. And I guess to a certain extent, when you try to change something like this, you leave some open interpretation for Irminsul, I guess. Scar didn't understand that. Yeah, I didn't understand before Paimon dropped that whole bottle thing and then it was still there.
Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent-up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmiths. Looked like the Balladeer did. It looks like the Balladeer did something in Irminsul, but it seems Niwa still died.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently? I think it would be good to talk about that with him.
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well.
Okay, people still exist. And he's the same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem to be as bad as I feared last night. That's all. Thank you so much. That also explains why Nahida is not that, or was not that scared, because it does change things, but it does not change them that drastically that everything goes downhill and completely is ridiculous. Okay, that also reduces the whole butterfly effect thing. It's
My
good.
pleasure.
Well, it's not good, it's still bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other
Yep.
places you want to visit too, right? You're expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon.
Yeah.
On to the next step. This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello there.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate. They're not here right now.
Are they out on business?
It's unfortunate.
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
I guess that's what
What
we're gonna
do you
do.
think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
We'll be heading in then. Thanks.
Yeah, honestly, we've been walking in there plenty of times, but things could have
Hello,
changed.
dears. Is there something you want to say?
Oh, yeah, I would like to ask you a couple of questions.
Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you.
Well, she seems to really like talking about us, but that's not part of the topic today.
What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner and Kamisato Ayaka these days?
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
Well, I mean, I'm happy for them.
So pretty much business as usual in the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Yeah.
Very much so.
Hayato is still a Yashiro Commissioner. Ayaka is still a lady of the house. Nothing changed. As far as I can see, nothing changed in the Yashiro Commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Well, got any more questions?
That's all, many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often. But I'm sure you must be far too busy to
Oh,
have
if you
time
would
for
know.
that.
I honestly don't even have time
Miss
for this right now, but...
Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you.
That's very
I
kind.
must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero to us all.
I'm very flattered. Thanks.
Alright, goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
Tatarasuna.
Great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right then. Take care now. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks for having us, but
Oh,
maybe on a
are you
different
two
occasion.
leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now. Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Thank you, kind sir. Is that the guy that helped us fix the furnace? Yeah, it is. Oh wow, I recognized an
Here
NPC.
we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Javier is probably our best bet for now.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
Well, I think that's the first time we hear your voice. Nice to see you again.
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Oh, so it's not Xavier, it's not Javier, it's Xavier? Okay.
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what about you two?
Well, questions and thought you might be able to help.
Do you know much about Tatarazuna?
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area?
Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true, the history here.
Okay, go on. I'm listening.
Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Well, okay, that doesn't seem to have changed. Well, if only they were from those two nations. Mechanic, huh? Looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to all the ensuing chaos. He's talking about the doc. Yeah, I was just wondering whether we fixed the Mikage furnace at all, because he was saying that the maintenance was several years ago. So I was not sure about that one.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already!
I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
We are.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
Oh, Paimon, if you knew, that's basically what we're doing right now. Well, we're trying to relive the past so that our history in our minds is correct again. So basically what we're doing is preparing for an exam.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So can I ask one more question?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard about a Kabukimono connected to Tatarazuna?
A Kabukimono? No, I can't say that I have.
Okay, so if he knows a lot about that past, that name should have meant something to him. But that seems to be eradicated?
I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a Kabukimono where Tatarasuna is concerned.
Okay. So there's no more Kabukimono. Did Balladeer really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far it seems like the majority of changes have actually affected himself. Well, thank you, Xavier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Thanks.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye,
I'm
Xavier.
so sorry, Paimon. I'm just dragging you around right now. You can also stay at home if you want to.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help.
It was nice to hear your voice, though. It's nice to have, like, a voice to connect with the head. Well, it's time to go back to Nahida.
Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you.
Oh, I wish I could explain.
Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile.
Oh.
No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Oh man, okay. Paimon actually managed to lift the mood for a moment here. That's kinda neat.
Hey, it's them!
Yeah, hi. Oh, do they remember? Oh, wait, they are the perfect people to ask. You still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you
Sorry,
have a
forgot
moment,
your white
we'd love
stuff.
for you to join us once more.
Oh, sure. Do I have to read a 5 pages long essay again?
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Ah, perfect. These two have researched Tatarazuna's past. Let's hear what they have to say.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
That article you gave me, can I read it again?
Huh? Oh, of course.
Okay. Well, we might have to go through a lot of words again, but this is good. Content has changed. Not the effect of the tampering with the information in Irminsul. Balladeer said he'd erased 2 of his names. If he really succeeded, it must have taken all of his might, but still.
Well, what do you think?
A masterpiece.
Hey, travelers. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them what we learned?
I mean, sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Black screen, white text. You told the writers what you learned about the writing book and then...
So many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Well, so it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Then I guess it must be true. Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
Well, not quite.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of, at least by the perpetrator, as a way of exacting revenge against those in power.
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with my novel.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Well, we got something to take care of. Bye-bye.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you. Thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do.
Well, all that did to me is really... well, it further confirmed that something was changed, yeah? But also didn't really help clear any of the confusion. Nahida, we need an update.
Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
It's been a time.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer, but I assume you don't even know that.
The Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name.
Yep, just as I guessed. Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
I don't even know what to say anymore. Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. Balladeer acted quickly, finished racing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I'm the record keeper.
Traveler?
What?
Hey, what's wrong?
She can't
so
read a
upset.
mind right now, right? Well, there are things that happened, but only I can remember them. Guess you guys just have to trust me with this one. I have to tell you the truth. With a heavy heart, you piece back together the story that was broken and scattered across time. Which one? The Skara one or also the Rukkhadevata one? There was one named the Balladeer, created by the Electro Archon. He was a puppet who lived among men. After a series of events in Tatarasuna, the Balladeer, thinking he had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and loathing for the gods, he bore his grudge for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with a gnosis, and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story.
Well, it's not just a story, unfortunately.
So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
That's it, yep.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it.
Oh, so we defeated the machine thing happened, and we didn't... Ugh. Okay.
Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed?
Come on, give me some
and
slack, Paimon, trust me.
Because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it.
Well...
The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her.
Yep.
So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again. It's also not the first time that happened.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
Well...
I can
it's a
only
long
make
story.
inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that.
I mean... We were not friends. I'm not sure what kind of person he really was. We were enemies after all. Don't know his perspective on all of this. So I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. Still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him the answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's erase, my own existence. But I can't tell Nahida that. To put it in another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work. But I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share?
I can't tell you anything. I just feel empty, I guess.
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yeah.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his old friends, it would be hard not to try. The story makes sense, every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase himself, even though he didn't have much strength left.
Yeah, so far we know that, yeah?
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get a second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life? Or did he wish to never existed at all, have never existed at all? That's the question we've been trying to answer for like a while now.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something.
Sure.
Found it. This should be the one.
What is that?
It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner.
Hmm?
You should take a look.
Surprisingly, the information is presented to you in a way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
How did that not get changed?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Is that what she did when she told us to stay indoors? She just wrote that story so we can find it later, hoping that we would?
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabukimono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact.
Oh, because you... Ah, okay, you never mentioned, like, the words, but you like, wrote a fable or, like, yeah, well, basically a little kid story about it that is a bit more vague, I guess. But it confirms it. It doesn't mention what we said, but it confirms it.
Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul.
Okay, at least we had a backup plan. You could have told me about that.
What a great idea!
Well, okay, no one expected that, to be honest.
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the Balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night, and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us.
Okay, so Skara is the cat? Dottore the monster? Pretty sure. Yeah, he even referred to him as a demon, right?
Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after.
So that's a kid he met.
After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
Yep, that's very much his past.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened.
How did you...
To become a god,
okay.
He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it.
Yeah, well, obviously.
That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion.
Oh yeah, how did our encounters with him go? That is actually something that is... We need to ask Yahe about that one.
Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
Never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather. That's depressing.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
Oh no, you didn't.
Still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up! we go get something to eat? We can pick up this heavy conversation again later.
I guess.
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Okay.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits!
There's a few things I'd like to look into. You should go take a walk and try to unwind.
We're here! What should we eat first?
Your first thought. I have a nagging feeling like there's something important I'm missing.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Yeah, we're gonna eat something. Sorry, give you a moment. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Alright. Come on, brain. Let's take this out. It's gotta be there somewhere. Something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Great Lord Rukkhadevata. Forbidden knowledge? Nahida.
What is it? Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Great Lord Rukkhadevata. She said that no one can erase himself from existence. Not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
I got it. No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Neither should she. But this is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase himself from his existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Once again, how convenient, that's the third time, and how dare you appear all of a sudden? You're looking mighty different. Yeah.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? The work's too boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
That's our guy. The Balladeer.
He's who?
Yeah.
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it.
He's doing
You don't
honest
need to pay
work.
me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
But what happened to him that he ended up like that? His path was completely strange now.
You're welcome,
no.
I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually.
He's doing that for free?
You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Hey, what do we do now?
Follow him. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
No, shush. We're not stealing his Sunsetias.
Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
No, we're just staring at you. Don't worry.
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
Well, you're right. We're following you, but so
Have we met before?
well, somewhat. Not really, I guess.
No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yep.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Paimon, trust me.
Sorry, but
Some level of trust sometimes would get us very far. I can actually prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Paimon, we've talked about that. How have you forgotten already?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people.
If with any at all, I guess.
Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
Well, there's somewhere I want to take you. Or have to take you, I guess.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it. Is that true?
Yeah, that's not considered working then.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Yeah, arguably that's a pretty neat thing to do in, well, offering a favor for another favor.
Let me take these back.
It's fair.
Then I'll come with you, okay?
Alright, sure.
Then let's return to the city.
I don't see him running away. What is even his name? Like, he's not just called a wanderer, right? He has a name, right? He will have a name, right? I can't imagine that's gonna be how we're staying with him. Otherwise, Paimon will have to give him a nickname.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Oh, come on. At least you guys should know about us. Come on.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine.
I mean,
you were
as a
me for
hat.
second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
Scar seems so confused. Seems like a completely different person.
But I don't...
You don't what?
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Yep. Let's go. I guess we've got to introduce you to someone. It's gonna be a strange encounter now. Oh, what's she doing?
Nahida! Nahida!
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
And he has no idea why he's here.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
Tell us, Lord Kusanali, what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you are trekking across to Vat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots.
Does it?
But these two claim that they know me.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous incarnation.
Well, we're just trying to think of where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Nahida tells the Wanderer about his past.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
Yeah, we were each other's enemies, to be precise.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What
Yeah.
a weird situation.
I guess that's very much true.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet. with no heart and no name.
He still has the same problems,
There's
though.
nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
Very well. As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Sure. Well,
Oh, good point.
I hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Unique situation. We'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Okay, and we go again, I guess. Wait, just realized. He does not have a vision. Is something else on his design missing? I see about the same, but he doesn't have a vision yet.
This looks like Inazuma.
Yep. Yep.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, but be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
Well,
It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
what did you do to not deserve it? Well, in this world at
Never
least.
give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
No, we're just finishing a job.
Alright. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
I guess to a certain sense.
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved too. No mining crew would be capable of this.
Nah, it doesn't seem like it.
There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Huh. Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
Oh, okay.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
So that's how the name came about.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
Oh, that's...
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for us here. We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick.
Just like you?
He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
And he took that seriously.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving Tatarasuna, the Balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The Balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
And they left. Well, two of them at least did not do it because they wanted to.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Oh man, Scara. So unfortunate that he thought that way.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting.
To gesture?
What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Oh, I remember that.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the Balladeer here.
Yeah, what did happen now though?
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
I remember this. It was an unsettling place. Yeah, well, we nearly died here.
Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
Okay. Seems like even they didn't respect him that much.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Well, we all know how that one ended.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
Fair.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else.
Well, at least now I know why he's so snarky, being around people like her all the time. Well, you don't have another choice, do ya?
Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
And that's where we came into play, right?
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
I certainly did not expect Senora here. I did not expect Senora to be appearing at all anymore.
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru.
Oh.
Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of information. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I
Okay, so he
suggest
was aware.
you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
He's the doctor. He's behind, like, all of it. Starting, like, 400 years ago.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Yeah, that's actually his job, I feel like.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
He honestly has gone through more human emotions, especially intense human emotions, than a lot of other humans in that world, so hard to differentiate him from a human. Besides him being, well, not a biological flesh person.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying...
Can you return my memories to me?
Oh.
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences.
So what you're saying is you erased your whole existence. Well, not the whole, but like the whole, all the memories about you, only to be able to get them back. You caused so much havoc for my head.
As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you.
Okay, so gonna be old Scaramouche.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Are we sure he's not gonna do anything bad if we do that?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
I mean, maybe if you stand up to the crimes you committed, then is this the true meaning of Great Lord Rukkhadevata's word? A person can't erase themselves, and even though the original Balladeer is gone, this person will live on in his place. Maybe? Are a person's sins an inescapable part of their destiny too?
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
So, not the Wanderer anymore, huh?
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
I sure hope that doesn't have any repercussions on us now.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Please don't turn bad again.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
Oh. What? Why is that thing back? I was wondering why his theme plays again. Why is he back? Good job, Lamine.
Hey! Are you done yet?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
Gotta let him go. Yeah, oh, okay.
Balladeer?
What? Where did that come from? Well, that explains why he didn't have a vision before, but where did he get that from? What?
This is trying my patience.
Okay.
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Oh, well, it's him again. Who are we fighting against if it's not him and there anymore? Oh, damn it, I need to fly higher. Well, I guess that's him fighting himself to a certain extent. Come on, you got him.
The wind rises.
There you go.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared.
Wait, are we still in a dream? Yeah, we're still in a dream, right? That would explain a lot of the stuff that just happened.
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
No, you've recovered your memories. The past will certainly catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me.
Yeah, somewhat.
But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Where did he get... Does he have... Well, he has the... If he still has the vision when we leave the dream, I'm gonna be entirely confused.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You didn't do anything, Paimon. You didn't do anything.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by Balladeer anymore? Scaramouche still fine?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him.
Yeah,
I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Well, let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
If that's what you wanted, fine.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that.
Problem of all of this is just he would have probably been able to achieve this point if, well, if he wouldn't have just gone into Irminsul and changed up everything. Pretty sure Nahida had something planned for him.
Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
Also kind of manipulative, but I guess it is fair.
I guess you could
Well.
say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
I don't think that's what she meant.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys.
Sorry.
You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Yeah, thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers, okay?
I will try.
Traveler.
Yeah?
After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
Well, I didn't do all of this to get a reward.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
Well, I'm looking forward to that day, I guess.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings.
And I even think the thing that they are considering a heart is like nothing that is really exclusively to a human body.
The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Come on, give her a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
And he would like that, wouldn't he? Bye, I guess.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
Alright. So I guess an ally after all.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Please don't go with Wanderer.
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you too!
Give him a chance to select one first, okay?
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Huh? You want us to give him a name? That's, I'm not his mother.
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything?
Wait, like for real? Name change rules. Please ensure that you follow our terms of service while using this function. Also, I can't name him, like, I don't know, his ass or something. That's like a classical thing people did in Pokemon, right? Like you had your like arch enemy, and whenever someone spotted him, they would just throw, "Oh my god, there's your ass," or something like this. So okay, we can't do that apparently. I'm not prepared for this. How am I supposed to give him a name? This is hard. Oh, wait, I have an idea actually. But it might not be that good. Let me look if I find some alternative here. That's hard. Well, it's not that creative, but maybe, I guess. Isn't that what they did in the with the Traveler? Just like, yeah, but what are they gonna call him? Wanderer? Scaramouche? Can I do that later? I'm not really a fan of like whipping out a name without thinking about it. Oh, well, let me do some thinking here. That will take a bit. But I'm not gonna give someone a name without giving it like some thorough thought, right? So I'm sorry about that. That's a bit too complicated, isn't it? I think after this you'll have an additional chance to modify it. Yeah. I'll still try to go with something that I can somewhat get behind right now. What does this just alone mean? So I'm testing around right now. Well, maybe that's what we're gonna take for now. Or is there an alternative? I think we could go with this one. Or is that a better word? Nope, it's the same. I would go with this one. Keeps the Japanese style of what the game had offered him with his names before, and keeps the meaning of him being reborn. Just Japanese for reborn, I guess. Well, take it.
Are you sure?
It's your choice. Well, I will try that.
Okay.
What if we name him Child?
You can't be serious.
Okay.
I have no need for these names anymore.
Okay, he really doesn't want that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't call you that anymore. But then I guess we're gonna stick with Umarikabaru, if that's what you want.
Are you sure?
I mean, still, once again, Skara, you are free, absolutely free, to choose your name on your own. I'm not forcing you. Just want to make that clear. But I think this would do.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
You can pick for yourself.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one.
What do you plan to do next, besides haunting Paimon?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
Okay.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself.
Yeah?
I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall.
I hope you're just doing that in order to, like, claim responsibility and, like, well, not just to make an enemy, I hope.
Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you.
Okay, we'll do that.
But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
I don't like that. Nah.
What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. Alright, we're done here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
Get better, I guess. He really needs to reflect a bit.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yep, I hope so.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There were some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Okay, Paimon.
Both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
Oh, I actually know where we're gonna go. Heard there's a new cat cafe. Huh, you two.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Good argument.
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking.
I love this dude's voice, it's perfect.
All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Yeah. Is this how our house at this point?
Whew, it's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Come on, rest up, Paimon. I'll buy us some delicious treats.
Wow, great!
You're welcome.
Huh? Look at the vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? Like, Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
So you don't remember doing it, but you didn't question us the last time. The night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table after being startled. Something to do with the Balladeer and broke the vase. But the Balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world, so why is this vase still broken? Well, we talked about that, Lamine.
You sound lost and confused.
What the hell? What?
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
I thought this was Yae for a second, but no, who is that?
Huh? Is there someone here talking?
This is not Nahida, this is not Yae, this is... Who is this?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate.
Is this the unknown god? That could work from the voice. I'm not sure. Who is
Like a
this?
vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
history does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
And things are I don't know. I mean, I've never heard her voice. I was thinking it for a second as well, but why would she be talking? That doesn't make any sense. What?
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Oh, Paimon, I have no idea. Believe my eyes. Does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the
Paimon, you
ground.
can't just ignore it.
Go get someone to clean it up?
Paimon, you're glancing over that? Is that what you're doing? No, that...
It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
Yeah, I mean, but with Nahida in the summer event, it was different. There was like no invitation for any reason for someone like the Archon from Fontaine to reach out to us, right? I wonder what else awaits for me in the future. I'm so confused. I'm just gonna go back to bed. We didn't even get snacks after all. I'm not sure what to do with that information at the end now. Like with the one in the summer event, for example, I could certainly relate that to Nahida, or, well, the Archon at least, because of, well, they were hinting at it very much. This could have been anyone. How did the unknown god talk again? I think she sounded different. But whatever it is, I hope we won't have to wait till 4.0 to find it out if it's the Archon. This can't be the Archon. It's way too early for them to start teasing us with another Archon. But what other godly being could they... This quest, I don't know how, but it left a sour taste in my mouth, and I'm not sure how to deal with that. I'm not sure what to think of the quest, actually. Like, it was not bad, not at all. It was certainly completely different from what I expected. And actually, I'm kind of annoyed that they did not really elaborate on where the hell his vision just came from. That came out of nowhere. I think this quest didn't answer as many questions that I was hoping it would. That's unfortunate. But I guess we'll get answers. Sooner or later we'll get answers.